did the best she could. It shows you a little bit better where they're at. They have over 400 ash trees in Cresco. They've started taking down 50 trees per year, starting with the ones that are in either dead, in poor condition, or they're so young that you want to get them out of the way now. I haven't talked to Cresco officially yet as far as doing some treatments. We're going to talk to them about, let's modify your plan, because right now their plan, written 4 years ago, the only option was to take all the trees out. They didn't have this treatment option that's out there now. So we have to update them with what's currently available. They might be willing to do some. The inventory includes a lot of stuff. I know we're not going to go through all the details because you folks have it on your iPads. The main reason to do it is so you know what street trees you have, where they're at, the condition, the health issues. It tells you, the inventory will tell you the percentages. It'll tell you the size, the age. It'll give you pointers on which ones to remove, which ones to save. A very important one is it assesses each tree's hazard potential, which is, are they going to last for another 3 months or another 10 years? Assesses the management needs, pruning, removal, staking. Oh yeah, they're all GPSed, by the way. I do want to point out each ash tree is assessed for all of the emerald ash borer signs. This program that we use is amazing, all the things that are in there. Also identifies potential planting sites, which is important if you want to, when you get to the point of reforesting, you want to know where those are at. And it also has a place to record any sidewalk conditions by the trees, how high the sidewalks are, from tree roots growing underneath them. So that's all in there. And you notice we use the iTree suite of software. That includes all these things up here. Forest structure. And like I say, I'm not going to go into all these details. There's too much of them. The annual benefits is all calculated as far as the energy, the stormwater benefits, air quality, aesthetic benefits, the financial benefits. That's a big one. And then there's a list of recommendations that are made also as part of the inventory. The ash borer notes, they get a little bit more detailed than the rest of it. It's not in the inventory, but I'm going to include it as an option as far as a management plan. I'll do this as both a 100% removal plan and also as, say for instance, a 10% treatment plan and everything else gets removed. I'll give you that option so you can see it. Maybe the budget will say, okay, we can do a little bit more. We can do 15% or whatever. But I'll give you at least an example so you know where you'll be looking at. And I'll also include Independence, the tree ordinance that the town currently has. That'll also be part of it. And this one we did some research. I did do a drive window survey. Actually, I was doing a little bit more this evening before I came over. And it looks to me, just ballpark, that your ash population is maybe in that 15 to 20% range. You have a lot of maples in town. Also saw some hackberry, some other species, but mostly that stuff there. Let's see. We came up with $7,800 to do the inventory, do all of the above as far as the information we would include for you. I've got some references from the towns that I'd worked in before, so you're welcome to call them. And in case you're wondering, the inventorying, I came up with $5,200 for the inventorying. That's actual on the ground, recording all the trees, doing all that work, and the analysis, maps, and the plan writing at $2,300. That's how we broke that down. So a quick run through what the inventory would include. You folks have any questions on that right now? Want to give me some feedback?
In a town our size, you can always get a ton of information.
Yes.
And what you've been giving us, several tons of information. But in, say, like Cresco, what department or how did they determine who's going to analyze all that information and who's going to go out and start taking those 50 trees a year down?
Right. The city Cresco Public Works Director, Rod Friedhoff, he's the one that is directing that for them. It's a big job, obviously. I mean, they're doing their removals in lots of 10. as far as the, putting out their bids. They do have a couple local guys that bid on the, those removals.
So do we end up training somebody then to identify when we do eventually have the problem, when the trees are infected? You're not gonna come back every year for this $7,800 to
No,
do it, right?
No, this is just for the inventory only.
Right.
And the, the plan, the maps.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to pass this around, sorry, folks.
So then we have to have somebody who's very knowledgeable of the whole
I should
deal.
have got Cresco's. Yes, and that's another service that we're going to offer. That's further down in the information here. It would be, actually, I would act as your consulting forester. There's a lot of detail to work out. That's towards the end of this packet. It's not up here on the power point, so.
Yeah, it's down in the
down
last
bottom.
few.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail. The amount of work necessary is going to depend on this inventory. How many trees do you have? If it's just 50, well, no big deal. If it's 100, maybe not so, that's still not bad. I think you could do that in-house. You get up into like Cresco, I'm surprised that they're doing this, but hey, Mr. Vidoff seems to be okay with doing it. You get up into 300-400 trees, and if you're in that death curve section, it's going to be a lot to deal with. So somebody's going to have to be doing that, all this go-to person that I mentioned in that presentation part. If you folks want to carry further with that idea with us, I would suggest a tree committee, getting together with me and maybe one or two of my board members to, if we have a volunteer.
I nominate Denny.
To look at those details, figure out who's going to do what.
Flower pots.
One question, obviously with this type of a thing happening, you're gonna have every swindler and fast talker
Right.
in the country running around knocking on doors saying, I can treat your tree for $50 and it'll
Right.
last 10 years and the tree dies. Do you have any type of resources where you can give a list of businesses that actually are reputable in doing this? I saw online, obviously I got my ash tree, so I'm trying to protect it. But one community, they actually had a list of recommended treatment. And those companies had come in and signed an agreement with the city guaranteeing, what their skill level was and what they could do. And is
Good
that
idea.
something?
I'm not aware of a completed list like that.
Mhm.
Jesse Randall at the Forestry Extension at Iowa State, he applied for a grant to do just that, collect this information from all over the state, so our communities have a place to go to find the
Mhm.
contractors that, that are reputable. That's a big concern, that having contractors to do that death point in the curve, because there's gonna be so many trees. Waterloo's gonna suck up everybody in the area. As far as the treatments, you're right, there's gonna be the fly-by-night people. We've already got an ad in the Decorah paper, which is just a few miles from Postville. It's a company that's calling themselves the Tree Doctor. They've got a website, they've got a phone number, no names, no qualifications listed. I checked the website, there's nothing there except we are based in the Decorah area. So it's like, and the phone number was a cell phone. Who knows? I'm real tempted to call them up and say, hey, who are you guys?
Yeah.
I'm certified for the pesticides. I'm studying to be a certified arborist, so.
He's right, it'll be a mess
Yeah.
with people.
The city should have some, I don't know how much you guys can do as far as a permit situation, the licensing, whatever. I would certainly ask for references, from anybody that does it. Do you have what do you call it, a vendor license for the town?
Peddler's license.
Peddlers, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a peddler's license?
I don't have one, but then we're
Yes,
supposed to
you
have.
do.
I thought we had
Okay.
something in our ordinance.
Hopefully,
to
they
that degree.
probably won't even come to sign up, and that's just it.
I'm just thinking if
Sure.
somebody could call City Hall and say, I got this guy out here wants to treat my tree, do you have any way of knowing if this is a reputable firm, or I see he's got Florida license plates on his pickups?
Yeah, I'd be pretty sure about that one.
You know something, it'd be, I mean, we could do that and everything, but you'd still have people that wouldn't call City Hall, they'd go ahead and do it. I mean, it's like scams all over the world. You can tell people and it'll still happen.
Are you familiar with Waterloo's problem they're having up there?
I did email the Todd Deerfield, their city forester, after I saw the KWWL report.
Yes, if I caught that right, I think they said they had 30,000 trees they were gonna take down.
4,000 ash that they're gonna take down, and that's all the TV report said.
I thought they said 30,000.
That might be the total number of trees in town.
That
But-
probably must be the,
Yeah, that'd be, but even then, when I saw him say 4,000 trees that we're gonna take down and nothing else about, saving any at all, I emailed him and told him I was very saddened to hear that, kinda gave him my condolences on the loss of his trees. He emailed me back and said, well, that was the media's fault. They are going to treat some of their trees in their 3 golf courses and some of the city parks.
Save the golf course.
That's right. They are
What's wrong
going
with
to.
that, Danny?
Nothing. We got 2 of them.
Let's get our priorities there.
That's exactly right.
They're also giving the adjacent landowner permission to treat the boulevard tree at the landowner's expense. Which I would have liked to have heard, well, we're gonna save 10% of our, the city will save 10%, we'll treat 10%. Didn't say that, so that's the route that I got.
I missed something. Did you
Okay.
say you're going to cut the guy's tree down and then charge him for it?
Oh,
Is
no,
that
no,
what you're saying?
no. But you might wanna put that in your ordinance, by the way.
No, I don't wanna put that.
It'd be a tough one, but, no, Waterloo is giving the adjacent landowner permission to treat the boulevard tree in front of their house if they desire, if they want to.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how they've left it. So, yeah, there's some decisions to be made, no doubt about it. As far as my consulting, if we work it out, okay, I'm gonna be your consulting forester, in the situation. We decided at $75 an hour for my time. I don't know how much time would be involved, it would depend on how many trees there are, just what would be involved, 20 hours a week?
$5 an hour? I guess. I got a little
75.
work- I got a little work for you.
75. So that's something for further discussion amongst you folks. Do we wanna go that route? Do you wanna hire someone,
Yeah.
for that time period, that kind of situation?
I think we just have a lot to think about.
Yeah. That's why I left that last
Yeah.
note. We
Yeah.
got a lot to think about.
We do have a lot to think about.
Yeah. I didn't pass this round yet. I do wanna get this out to you folks. It's the treatment, that RC&D is going to offer. It's a flyer from the company called Arborgen. On the flat side, you have a
Another
picture of the treatment equipment. And this one is just more of the things that are coming at us.
So are all the nurseries quitting selling ash trees now?
Yeah, they did a few years ago.
Did they?
Yeah, any reputable one did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was probably one of the main ways it got spread away from Michigan was infected nurseries.
Oh, okay.
Because people didn't recognize what it was yet.
Yeah.
They just kept going further and further out that way, so.
Is this why every summer recently they've been advertising on TV to not burn firewood, leave the firewood where it's at? I
Yeah,
guess.
buy local firewood, burn it where you're at, don't haul it away.
Well, he has been a pesky little devil, huh?
Yeah, and there's all kinds of different things, unfortunately.
You had a grant back when for communities under 5,000.
Right.
To help do your inventory, to pay for the inventory. Do you know of anything, or are you thinking of hearing any rumors of possibility of some grants becoming available to help with this type of thing for our size of town?
Every once in a while I hear something from that the state legislature is looking at some kind of assistance. It's never gotten very far beyond that as far as I'm aware, whether it's for inventories or for doing treatments or just what. I don't know if it might be a good idea to get your area representative down here, a time or two representatives, and visit with them about it, and see what they're doing. 'Cause it's-
Dustin, did you have something, did I see something you had that the legislators were were looking into this for possibility of some helping with funding, or
Where'd this little
was I
bug come
dreaming
from?
of that?
I don't know you got that, didn't I? It's originally from Asia,
Asia?
and it showed up, it's mostly in China, I understand, but they still, figure the Asia area. Yeah, yay, Walmart. excuse me, I'm a little cynical about some of that stuff.
How'd he get him over here?
How do you really?
It's
It comes by
focused-
boat.
Yeah, on a boat.
Slow boat.
The tree scientists back in Michigan, Detroit area, have done a lot of detective work using what they call dendrochronology. Yeah, utilize that. It's a study of tree rings. And they've actually traced it to a neighborhood that has a lot of warehouses with a lot of wood pallets behind them from all the goods that have come into to the port. And that's where they've been able to find some of the early dead ash trees that were affected by the ash borer, looking for the, the galleries and things.
It's the reason now with everything that's shipped over here, you have to certify that the pallets have been sprayed and fumigated and everything. It's just, there's nothing shipped without being.
It's supposed to be fumigated.
Yeah.
Heat treated, whatever,
Yeah.
some way of.
Customs won't let it in if they catch it.
You have to catch it, yeah. Unintended consequences.
People, what about bugs?
My sources, just a short list. I mean, I was thinking, wow, I should just put a whole bunch on there, but there's, like I said, a lot of research going on. We can benefit from that research. We can make use of it. There's a lot of consensus among the scientists that are doing this, and in private companies too, that yeah, we finally got a tool to work with this against this thing. I do recommend at least when you got the time, that second one. No, let's see, where is it? Yeah, the second one from the top, the Emerald Ash Borer, that info. That's a collaboration between those three universities, and we know they don't like each other, so this is pretty important that they're working together on it. EAB University is a terrific source for a lot of information on this thing. That's where I got the last two presentations. Those are webinars you can click on and listen to the webinars. They're much more professional with their presentation than I am. But it's good stuff. That one from Chad Tinkle, the manager of forestry at the city of Fort Wayne, that's a very interesting one. They are dealing with about 13,000 or 14,000 ash trees to start with. They're down to about 8,000 or 9,000 now. They're taking out 400 a year, and he's behind. he's fighting it. Fortunately, we don't have that many to deal with, but still, it's a percentage thing, relative, I guess.
Do we
When
have
would
money
you begin?
available?
As far as
The inventory.
and the inventory. As soon as we get figured out, okay, we're going to do it. I mean, as soon as we get a contract signed,
Right.
I could get started. I put in that it would be completed by the August 31st, whatever it was. I just wanted to give you folks some time to discuss it. I'm looking at 5 to 6 weeks total, maybe, to get it to you. Maybe less. Kind of hard to tell till you actually get out there in the field.
5 to 6 weeks once you've approved, you're gonna start before you'd have the results for us? Is that what you're saying? It'd take you that long
in
to
that
do it?
ballpark. Hopefully I'll
Okay.
get there sooner, but weather, happens and.
Is there money available that we could, if we decide to hire him, Barb to tell us? Should we get started on this now? If we wait 2 months, or then we're gonna be put further behind?
It's an unbudgeted item, so we have to take a look at that.
Yeah, but I think if we lose a month or so, I don't think we're really losing a lot. I think we need to sit back and really think about this amongst ourselves to decide whether or not it's something that we want to do.
We're talking just an inventory at this point, are we?
Right.
They don't
Well,
understand.
Right.
No, he's just talking an inventory,
Right,
but
yeah.
I think we have to decide, even at a minimum, do we want to do that before we?
Actually, I think you better, so you know where these trees are at. Whether I do it or somebody else, because you could have trees falling down all over you and you
I
don't
guess I'm reading it wrong. It says
know
tree
who they
development.
belong to, where they are. I'm not gonna do private trees, by the way, it's not gonna do that, but, yeah,
Where were you
all
at?
these
Don't they
universities
say
up here say you
tree
gotta have the
maintain-
inventory first in order to manage it.
City-owned trees.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that we have to do that. I guess I just think that we need a little bit more time as a group to decide.
Yeah, some time is not gonna.
I don't think that we've made up our mind that we're just gonna go ahead with the
Well,
inventory, have we?
And you individually can look into some of these websites and things that he's got here to get more informed
Right.
yourselves.
So,
So,
But at some point in time, we have to, as a group, decide, right?
yeah,
right,
yeah,
for the
because you have to make a
$7,800,
resolution to
what
that
does
degree.
that include?
The inventory itself, the on-the-ground, GPSing each tree and doing the assessment. That's listed here in the points. And then the analysis of that, the city of Postville, one that went around, not sure where that's at. There's a whole bunch of analysis, the benefits, the percentage of the trees, all that kind of stuff is all laid out there within that plan. You'll be getting that. Maps, I think I designated all the trees, an ash tree map, a hazardous tree map, and anything else you folks might want to do, we can print out for you. Whatever you might want to do that way.
This
And-
piece of paper says all of that, and then it says treat and maintain city-owned trees.
Which one? That's not mine.
That's on the agenda.
That's on the agenda.
Oh, that's on agenda.
But
Okay.
you can
The
do
treating
those
the trees
things.
that would be separate.
That's his part.
That's a separate part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are things he's
So
able
the
to do.
agenda wasn't, there must have been a misprint on that.
Those are all the things that he's able to do, but what he's
Right.
offering
Oh, see, I was
tonight at the
reading- I thought
seventy-eight
that's what we
hundred.
were getting
Yeah.
for
Oh,
7,800.
no.
No,
I thought that's what he meant when he said he's
Yeah.
getting $5 an hour.
How many cities have you done this for in northeast Iowa? You mentioned Cresco and Postville.
I've done 19 of the on-the-ground inventories. I have not done the analysis and the writing of the plans. However, I got the template from DNR. That's who did the earlier analysis and the writing. So it's just a matter of figuring out what everything is and putting it in the right place. And then that would be your finished product.
I did talk to a gentleman who said he went to high school with you, and he said, be very leery. No, he said, he saw on the agenda.
Oh, really? Who was that?
His name shall remain unsaid, even though he works with a paper to the east.
Take you, huh?
Steve Smith. Must have been, I think, a year or two younger, if I remember.
That
But
you
that
just-
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He called on some advertising today or something, and
Oh,
he said, well, I see the guy on the agenda, I went to school with him. You should be able to trust him.
nice to hear.
I said, oh, we should?
Actually, if you want to get more information about me as far as, like, I did ask Yvonne Cooley and Emma Hannigan now, she's recently married, they're the ones on the front of the Postville page as far as the ones that did it. They're DNR employees, they cannot give you a reference, but they can give you an opinion of me and our work. I say our because it would also be, you're not just getting me, you're getting RC&D. You're getting our GPS specialist, our GIS map maker. I've got a support group to help me get this all done, so it's not just me, by the way.
So the key here is, are you going to do my ash tree as a test pilot for your triage to show the rest of the city what it can do?
At
Well,
your
you've already- have
expense.
you treated your tree?
Hey, if you want to pay for it, he sure would.
It's worth a try though, right, Bob?
Yeah, it was a try.
That was worth a try.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Okay, so am I hearing anybody, what guess I'm hearing is that you might want to, at least a month or two, to kind of do some more of your own investigating, looking into it, and then maybe we put it back on the agenda in a couple of months to address whether we want to contract to have him do an inventory for us, or if you have other ideas or something. Does that,
To me, I guess, I think this is just like our study of the high school. We
Yeah.
should have done that a couple of years ago, and we could make some decisions now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the kind of thing that if we don't take care of business, we're gonna be playing catch-up. And, I think we need to do it, and I think he's made a good presentation. It's gonna cost $7,800 whether we do it today or whether we do it 2 months from now. Might be more.
would you like to make a motion to that degree?
I will.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to make a resolution approving the proposal submitted by Northeast Iowa RC&D to provide services to inventory, map, not treat though, right?
Correct.
And not maintain city-owned trees, strictly inventory, mapping, all your, what did you call that, the other stuff that goes with it?
The GISing and
Okay.
Well, now,
the mapping.
will you be doing some analysis recommending which ones, or is that?
That will be part of it?
That's gonna be part of it, correct. I'll do that, at least two total removal over the course of 6 to 10 years, 15 years, whatever it might be. The other one, give you an example of it, like save 10% of the ash trees.
That's in that 7,800.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other further discussion? Are we ready for a vote? Roll call, please.
Lydius,
No.
Vaughn,
No.
Hill,
Yes.
Dallenbach,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Will you
Thank you.
get a
Where- are you
contract,
from
or
Cresco?
do we just, if we sign the resolution, how does that work?
Okay.
Office is supposed to.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we will probably need to have a contract with you. Do you have one that we actually
Well, I-
utilize, or do we make our own?
But we might have to work together on that, I suppose. I'll
Okay.
get back to my office tomorrow and,
Okay.
tell them about your vote.
Okay.
And, who should we contact?
Mayor,
Barb?
city
Okay.
clerk, whichever.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll contact you and, we'll work it out, put it together.
Okay.
Very good.
And then you can get started on it. Let us know when you're starting.
Right. Yep.
And then for about 5 weeks from that, we would assume that possibly you would have the results for us.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep,
Very good.
How
Thank
early
you.
in the
Thank you.
season do you start treating trees?
If you're to treat trees, you should start when the trees are in their first flush of leaf. Well, actually, anytime, I would say half flush to full flush, mid-May is a good starting time. And then you continue with this triage treatment, you can go into September, as long as you have good soil moisture. If drought happens and the soil gets totally dried out, the tree's not gonna be able to transpire, bringing the water up out of the ground up into the trees. It depends on soil type, soil type.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much for your time. Next on our menu or agenda, I'm hungry, I guess, maybe, is Jeff Grill with Data Technologies. Okay, it's been a long night, long day.
Good afternoon. My name's Jeff Grill with Data Technologies, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to come visit with you about our proposal to help you with some accounting, payroll, utility billing, and related